Okay, I know we are a little late with the RTX 3070 coverage, but I hope I can make it up to you guys by playing literally every game installed on our PC. Hey guys, Amurtha here from C4eTech, and if you do end up enjoying this video, then please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking on that bell icon so that you can be a part of our notification squad. We have a lot of games to go through here, so I'll jump straight in by playing one of the most demanding games available. This is Red Dead Redemption 2 running at everything maxed out 4K resolution. And wow, okay, this is honestly quite impressive. An average of around 40s with 0.1% frame rates that just dipped below the 30s. So yes, very playable, but if you want to go above the 60 FPS mark, consider cranking back the settings just a little bit. Moving on to the next game on our list, we have Metro Exodus, one of the best games released in the past little while. Now what I love about it is just that even with the ray tracing turned on, everything at max and at 4K, the average frame rate again was around 27. So as an offline game, very playable. The dips in 0.1% frame rate though shows us that at times the gameplay may be a bit choppy. And the picture that we are getting here is that while the 3070 can certainly run games at 4K, it's not powerful enough to push 4K at 60 FPS with all the bells and whistles. However, in some titles like Horizon Zero Dawn, we actually got around 75 FPS on average with a max FPS of over 100. Of course, this is not a very well optimized port, which means we did see the 0.1% dip around 36 frames per second. That being said, the overall gameplay here was extremely smooth. Finally then, answering the question, can it run Crysis? Yes guys, this is Crysis Remastered running at 4K. Detail level set at can it run Crysis. Of course, as expected, this is taxing the system pretty hard. Our average FPS here is around 26 with 0.1 lows coming around 11.6 frames per second. So yes, 4K can be a bit taxing on this card, but at 1440p or 1080p, we can max out all settings and comfortably sit beyond 60 frames per second. That being said, for the rest of the video, we have benchmarked all games at 4K because we wanted to push the card to its limits. And yes, that's the reason why all games here have been played at max settings. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that we are not using a Founders Edition 3070 from Nvidia. Instead, this is a Gigabyte gaming OC card. Like all other 3070s, it comes with 8GB of DDR6 RAM at 1400 MHz. Of course, since this is an OC card, it comes with a slight factory overclock of 90 MHz, so the base frequency here is 1815 MHz compared to 1725 on the Founders Edition. Now we did test out all the games at stock settings, but given the amazing triple cooler on here and the heavy cooling going on, I think there would be quite a bit of overclocking headroom as well. Oh, and like all 3000 series cards, this one is a heavy boy, so have this metal backplate to give the card some rigidity. And of course, there's RGB, because you know, which card is complete without RGB? Now, Gigabyte has gone with a very different cooler design compared to the stock reference card. We have 3 fans which spin in opposite directions, so the 2 at both ends are anti-clockwise while the one in the middle is clockwise. This should in theory keeps the temperature under control, and in our testing the maximum we found the card hit during heavy usage was around 75 degrees Celsius. So quite toasty but very much well within the working temperature limits. Oh, and Gigabyte is also offering 4 years of warranty with this particular variant of the 3070. Now, one thing that the 3070 series is known for is guzzling down loads of power. But the Gigabyte card comes with a standard 8-pin power plus 6-pin power connector. And while we are taking you around the card, here's a quick look at the I/O. 2 display ports and 2 HDMI ports. And yes, this is a dual card, but it isn't as big as the 3090. So I think most cabinets should fit this one without much space issues. Anyway, as we look at some more gameplay and benchmark numbers, let's quickly take a look at the hardware specs here. This is a second generation of RTX or ray tracing enabled cards. We have 5888 CUDA cores compared to last generation's 2304. That is a 155% increase, making this one of the biggest generational jumps in terms of sheer horsepower. In fact, in certain games, the 3070 can even outstrip last year's flagship consumer card, the Nvidia 2080 Ti. Though the fact that we only have 8 gigs of VRAM compared to 11 gigs on the RTX 2080 Ti, well, that can be a bottleneck in certain situations. Now, speaking of the upgrades in hardware, we have improved ray tracing capabilities, which we can see in games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Not just that, Nvidia's DLSS, or well, AI sharpening, is something that makes a real impact in games. Unlike other crappy upscalers that we have seen in the past, DLSS actually works. Along with that, the 3070 also comes with Nvidia's latest generation of encoder and decoders. NVENC is now powerful enough that we can simultaneously game as well as record or well, stream our gameplay at the same time on the same GPU without really affecting our frame rates, which is like kinda crazy if you think about it. Even a couple of years ago, we needed a capture card, but right now, GPUs are powerful enough to do both without having any significant impact on the gameplay. As we can see in Fortnite, with RTX enabled, we can still push 60 FPS and above, and in Apex Legends, the average frame rate is in the 90s. So if you want, you can play these esport titles at 4K all maxed out. Although I doubt anyone into competitive shooters would actually play like this. Okay, so before I wrap this one up, let me tell you a little bit about a testing rig. We have a 10900K from Intel combined with 128 gigs of DDR4 RAM at 3200 MHz. And all the games have been running off the 2TB Gigabyte Aorus Gen 4 PCI SSD. Basically, this is the same rig that we showed off to you guys a couple of weeks ago. I just switched out the 2080 Ti with the RTX 3070. And while Nvidia says the RTX 3070 can match or even beat the 2080 Ti in performance, and I personally feel that gaming on both felt pretty damn close, it is something that we need to verify by testing both these cards out side by side. But if you're in the market for a graphics card and the 3070 is in your price range, well, then it's one hell of an upgrade from anything like the 2070 or lesser. That being said, don't just run right out and buy a 3070 right now. After all, we have Big Navi coming soon from AMD, and the RX 6800, it's supposed to crush the 3070. So I'd say hold your horses, maybe watch how the RX 6800 performs, and more importantly, how AMD prices it in India. As for the RTX 3070, well, the Founders Edition comes in at just 44,500 rupees, which I think is a great price for the performance it offers. So would you guys like to see a 3-way GPU comparison between the RX 6800, the RTX 3070 and the older 2080 Ti? Let me know in the comments below. Guys, we are trying to do a lot more PC content on the channel, so if you have any suggestions, maybe you want more GPU comparisons, maybe you want some new games to be added to the benchmarks, anything, let me know in the comments. And with that, we come to the end of this video. As always, like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Thanks a lot for watching till the end. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.